Hey guys, sorry for not posting for such a long time, but my new work has actually had me very busy, which is a really good thing. But I haven't forgotten about this. I haven't forgotten about this build. What you're looking at are some parts that I've been compiling for my Macho Grande Riviera. So where I'm at right now, of course this is the same body that I had showed you guys earlier. It is a Riviera front coupled with a Chevy SS wagon rear, and they actually blended together really well. Now I don't know, I'm not sure if I'm going to fill in this little area right here or grind this area off here. One or the other. I'll try and make them blend together pretty nicely eventually. But that's not the big concern. The fun thing with this car is this is going to be a bearing wheeled car. Now, I think I've shown you these before. That is a 3mm by 8 ceramic bearing. It's a stainless housing with ceramic balls. And I was hoping that I could use these little 3mm pieces of brass as just regular axles. But the fit isn't quite what I would hope. You can see it's got a little bit of wiggle to it, and that's way more wiggle than what I would want. So I've been trying to think of ways that I can do this. Now I can machine stuff. I've got a little lathe. I've got a little benchtop mill down in the basement, but I don't really want to do that. I want to try and put together a bearing car in a way that anybody could do it, or if you have the simplest tools, you could do it. Now what I've got here is a piece of, I think it's probably 6061, I'm not really sure. Yes, it is 6061 aluminum. It's 3/4 by 1/8, and I just cut off a piece that is 3.5 inches long. That's how long the car will be. And as you can see, that frame will sit on there pretty gosh darn nice. I'm probably going to have to hog the wheel wells way out for it, but that's just going to give the car a really cool look. And that way I also have a nice base to put a lot of lead in the car. The tricky part here is going to be, now like I said, I do have a little mill downstairs, but I'm going to be drilling 16th inch holes in that 1/8 inch aluminum, so I'm going to have it centered really well. That will be the tricky part, and then once that's done, it won't be too bad. Now, again, I could do all kinds of cool stuff. I could, I have Delrin around here somewhere. Yeah, I have. This is 1/2 inch bar stock Delrin, which is a wonderful material. I mean, it's great to work with. And I could machine. I've made wheels out of this before. I could machine this on a lathe, but not everybody has a lathe. So I've been trying to think of good ways as a workaround, so that anybody could build a car like this. Now, these little ceramic bearings aren't cheap. I think I paid about $20 for the 4 of them. I think they might be more expensive than that. I forget. But what I came up with, and I got the wrong size, but I thought about it and I was like, I bet I could just get nylon washers. Sure enough, thanks to the wonder that is eBay. Now these are the wrong size. These are a 6mm by 12, and for some reason I was thinking those bearings were 6mm outside diameter, but they're actually an 8mm outside. So I've got the correct washers coming. Yeah, so you want to talk about your pie cutter wheels. I'm not sure. I think these are only 1 millimeter wide. So yeah, and I'm hoping that when I get the correct 8 millimeter size, that they will be a press fit onto that bearing. I'm hoping to avoid having to glue it or do anything like that, because that could be very complicated. But yeah, so I haven't forgotten about this project. And oh, I have more stuff. I also was thinking about, you know, I'm going to use, once I drill the holes in the aluminum, I'm going to get a little bit longer 256 screws as basically the basis for the axle. But, you know, the 3 millimeter is quite a bit bigger than a 256, so I need a way to up the size. So I did find some Teflon tubing. This is 3 millimeter Teflon tubing, and I was just checking, and that is actually a 256 button head screw stuck in the end of it. So I'm pretty sure I can cut these to length, you know, whatever length I need, and to space them out, I have some 3 millimeter nylon bearings that will slide over this, so I can space it away from the frame however far I need to space it. And also this little guy is, oops, let's see if it stay in focus here. This will actually be a pressed on fit onto this tubing. Yeah, there it goes. So that will actually press onto that, and I can hold it in place with the 256 screw. And like I said, I can cut this to length and put a couple of those little nylon washers behind it to space it out, and it should be good to go. And it should be pretty good to go as far as a wheel and tire with a bearing setup, and then just screw the whole rig onto the sides of the frame. Now, it was so long ago that when I made this, I no longer have like the chassis and stuff for these cars. So I do have donor windshield glass and grille for the Riviera, and I do have rear glass, even though it won't match the front, but that's okay. Rear glass and rear bumper for the Chevelle rear half. So the car should look pretty good. And like I said, I'm compiling the parts. I should have the proper size washers. These other ones came really quick, and I ordered from the same company, so I should have them in a couple days. And the only thing about the 8 millimeter is I think they were like, forget if they were 16 millimeter or 14 millimeter, but they're a bigger wheel than what I would hope. Now, so I might have to press them onto to something and turn them down a little bit on a lathe, but that's not too horrible an operation to do. Or I might just run bigger wheels. We'll see. And but yeah, that's just a little update on where I am. Like I said, work has been very good and very busy. I've been working right here at home. My computer is at a desk right behind me right now, so my commute is great. I can walk downstairs and I can go to work. And but yeah, I haven't forgotten about this project. I haven't forgotten about you guys. I would like to get this car built and submitted. If it seems to be working really well, I hope to get it submitted to the King of the Mountain series, just to combat some of the zoom-in cars that are invading over there. So yeah, it should be fun, and it's all a big experiment, really, just to see if I can make it work, see if I can make it fast, and to do it in a way that you don't really need an awful lot of special tools or anything like that. So yeah, that's where I'm at, guys, and yeah, I'll keep you updated. And for now, this is Chris, and I will see you in lane 2.